There should be no limitation. We should live life with no fear, no fear. The key thing is we put limitations ourselves, the blockage, the shackles, the chains. We are liable for our own shackles. I say that. Today is the day we should come out of those shackles and break those locks and say that not only USA is free, but I'm free today. I'm free.
Good morning. This is the Abundance Mindset Podcast. Sit back and relax as we discuss hot topics on how to handle and grow your business, self-development, and how positivity can bring profitability in your life. Here are your hosts, Vinney and Gualter.
Hi friends, this is Vinney Chopra from here in Danville, California. And you might be saying, hey Vinney, what are these over here? You know, I wrote this book a few years back, Apartment Syndication Made Easy. It became top seller. I came from India with $7 in my pocket. It says 500 million. It's going to be 1 billion very soon, very soon. I'm right at about 850, 900 million. And then I'm ready for the next billion. Actually, you will see that happening, 2 billion in this book also. The other book I wrote, which has been a very big positivity, has been my life. Always, I've been married 43 years with 2 children, and the beauty is to be positive, the mindset that can take you to all the places in the world. And that's the book that also became big seller. My third book, Senior Assisted Living, is coming. So do yourself a favor, go ahead and click the link below to get free copies, audio copies of these books, even printed copies of these books. Printed means digital if you can't afford it, but I would highly recommend for you to get these or go to Amazon.com. Just go to Amazon. I got it in soft cover, in hardcover, in Kindle, in audio, also the Spanish version of this book also. So let's crush it, guys. I know you can be successful. I know you can do the kind of things that you want to do in life and have the streams of income and know how to really, educate yourself so that you could become a strong force in this world in real estate. I know you can. So take that step. Don't just be on the sideline. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your education.
Welcome back, Alchemists. This is Abundance Thursdays with myself, Gualter Amarelo, and the great Vinney Chopra. Vinney.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you. It's good to be back here in California, Danville, Black Hawk area where I live. But it's been 113 degrees. Yesterday in my car, when I went for a little appointment, it was 118 degrees. Hey, you know what? We don't pay too much taxes for this kind of weather.
California, right? They could control the weather a little better out there.
We should, because one of my friends says it's not California, it's Texfornia.
Taxfornia. I can relate. As a real estate investor, we avoid California. Vinney, you don't invest in California anymore, do you?
No, I don't. I sold out everything. We just have our previous home, which is rented out, $6,400 or something a month. And then we own our own place. Then our children own their own places. Neil owns and Monica owns her place in San Francisco. So 4 properties in all.
So the total Chopra empire of California is residential properties.
4. Yeah, that's it. Because see, it's very hard to make numbers work. That's the biggest situation. I decided that 17, 18 years back to go to Texas because of that reason. It's very important that we buy anything and everything with cash flows. And with these interest rates where they are very high right now, it's very difficult. Even before that too, 17 years back, it was the same thing. But I'm not saying that there are no opportunities. There are opportunities. But I just find more better opportunities outside California.
I'm with you 1,000% on that. So welcome back, Alchemist. We're going into Wealth Principle 36. Be impeccable with your word. I got notes from Vinney where we talk about the power of integrity, commitment to transparency, building investor trust, celebrating Independence Day, which is today, practice and practical strategies that you can actually implement with. So Vinney, obviously you're from India. That's where you grew up. That's where you started your first, really like the first third of your life was in India. And the
Yes, yes.
second 2/3 of your life have actually been here in the United States. How do you celebrate Independence Day? This is the beginning of the day. What does the rest of
Why
your day
not?
look
Why
like?
not? I mean, we do this some fun thing. I asked you yesterday, should we take off or not? Why not? It's good to exercise. See, we are really doing this, and you are also stimulating our mind, making sure that we are in the daily routine. Because if you break the routine, then it haunts you. So it's good to have daily routine.
Travel every time you're in other parts of the world and we have
Yes.
to move the event. Like, I notice my week is so weird. It feels so weird not having the Abundance Thursdays. It's strange for me. So I love that you're here during this holiday. So how do you celebrate Independence Day? What does it mean to you? What does 4th of July mean to you and your family?
Sure, 4th of July, of course, that's where independence of USA from the Britishers happened in 1776. But in India, we got independence in 1947. We celebrate that on August 15th, and also Republic's Day, which is actually January 26th. So just like July 4th here in India, we celebrate those 2 days. Yeah.
So every country has its own Independence Day. Who is,
Yeah, exactly. Canada is a day early. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's July 3rd.
So Canada celebrates their Independence Day a day before the United States. Or
Oh, I don't know. We were in Ottawa, by the way. One year, my cousin lives there. So Kanchan and I went there to Ottawa. It was beautiful time. And we celebrated there in Ottawa. That's the capital. So it was wonderful. Just exciting memories from that year.
So Vinny, we got quite a bit for entrepreneurs. This principle of be impeccable with your word. I think at first, if an entrepreneur hears this, they say, what the heck does that even mean? Right? What does it mean to be impeccable with your word? And if I say, well, it just means be honest, people are like, yeah, I'm always honest. But they're not, Vinny. Most people are not actually honest. They say they'll do something, they don't do it. They overpromise.
Underdeliver. Oh
It's
my
common,
gosh.
right? It's common in this business. Why is the power of integrity so important?
So it's so true what we are discussing today, because words, when they go leave our lips or our mouth, they can never be returned back. Let's just talk about that first, right? Whatever we say, whatever we speak, it's gone into somebody's ear. Now, if it's good and if it's credible, if it's trustworthy, it will make an impact. But if they discount you, and they say, no, he always lies. It's all dependent on how well you have established yourself with the person you are communicating with. And what's the biggest lie? The lie is that you have to lie 1,000 times to save that lie. And then you forget what you lied about. So I really believe in the bottom of my heart, speak the truth, be communicative, trustworthy, because nobody will give me $220 million if they didn't believe in me. If they did not say, hey, Vinny's communicative, he's giving us the everything, underwritings and all, we have never had, because SEC ruling is they are the one watchdog for investors, rightly so. I find I have done well with the partners who are trustworthy, and I gave my money to them, and other people gave money to me so that they could be really assured that their capital will come back, plus the cash flows, plus the returns, everything.
What we're really talking about is integrity, right? So this
Yeah.
forms the foundation of strong relationships with investors, partners, and stakeholders, because you're saying, look, this is
Yes.
the sort of thing I invest in. And I think what's really good about the way you operate your funds is you
Yes.
stick to those assets, right? You say, hey, this is a strategic income fund. This is all we're going to invest in. Then you had the fund that was just hospitality, and it was like, that's all we invest in. And then you had the fund that was just a senior assisted living. That's all you invest in. It
Yes.
was the multifamily
Yes.
funds that it was like, this deal is all we're going to invest in. And that made it
Yes.
very clear to us as investors that this is what we can expect, right? He's not all over the place, not doing these different things. This is how his partners operate. So as you bring into other industries, it's Vinny always
Yes.
expects this standard from his partner. So I know if I'm getting into a Vinney Chopra deal, regardless of
Yes.
who the partner is, I know what kind of partner you're kind of doing. So
Yeah.
that's the integrity of your investment philosophy, I think, follows across as investors are listening and they're saying, okay, like, I want to invest with somebody who's going to get my money back. Well, Vinny's done it
Yes.
before, and this is how he does it. So
See,
Let's
that's
dive
the
into.
biggest thing. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're saying that. See, people trust you, and it's not overnight thing. Just like the bank, you don't withdraw $1 million unless you have put money into it, 100,000 or 10,000 and 50,000. You keep on deposit, then you withdraw. Similarly, in the trust factor also, you got to prove yourself and share with your investors everything and everything what they ask. First of all, we need to know our deal, nobody's business. We need to make sure that we are underwriting deal conservatively. We are looking at what investors may ask, handle objections before they come. Not only objections, but we need to educate them. That's the biggest thing, reason of my raising over $200 million. And people kept on giving me from 50. No, I never took 50,000. I think the least I took was 70. And then I went to 100, never went back to less than 100. Then we have investors who have 6 million, 7 million with us now. And we have given them back and they give it back again. And we are returning 17 million right now. And they're saying, Vinny, what's next?
That is integrity. Sliding into commitment and transparency. Why
Yeah,
is it so important to be honest, transparent, and clear in your communications as a fundraiser or as an investor, as somebody
yeah,
who's helping other people move their money into deals? How did
yes.
transparent practices inspire confidence and foster long-term relationships? Why is that so relevant to what you do
It's
as somebody who's an operator, syndicator?
it's very important because it's hard to even get $5 or $10 from somebody unless they trust you, what you are standing for, who you are, what's your background, who are the cooks in the kitchen, I call it.
I got to say this every so often as people are jumping in.
Please,
We are talking about being
please.
impeccable with your word. This is Wealth Principle 36. And Vinney
Mhm.
Chopra is just going into commitment and transparency. So, why the relevance for capital raisers? If you don't know who Vinney is, you can go look him up. Under management, it was at his peak 1.6 billion. Now, between him and his partners, it's 2.5 billion. Commitment and transparency. You're just going into trust. Like, why is it so important for investors to trust you?
Totally. This is a very important topic. And if anybody's having trouble collecting money or raising money, capital fundraiser and all that, you got to build trust. It's not the email, it's not the robotic texting to people and then not really giving them what they want to feel and trust you and to really look at your track record. Too many cooks in the kitchen. That is the worst thing can happen when there are too many partners on the top and they don't get along and they get into fight and things like that. That can really take your money down the sink. I say that. That's why I don't partner too many people, especially in syndication and funds. Only 50-50 so that I can control the deal. Plus, the other partner controls half the deal, and they bring money and I bring money, all my investors. That's not a good deal. That's not a good deal in my, because there is no vested interest. There is no burning desire to make sure that their investors are also involved in the whole setup and everything. It's very important to me, at least. And I've walked away. I've walked away from partnerships and I will not do it because the key thing is you got to preserve the capital of investors.
Wow. That is something to watch out for. It's, hey, this investor's not really losing anything. They're not all the way invested. The operator's not invested. It's very scary. I like that.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning Independence Day earlier, and I just want to brag that this is my favorite holiday
Yes.
because financial freedom,
Ah,
right? Independence, like it's not just for our country. I think it's wonderful that our country 200 years ago became free, like India
sure.
less than 80 years ago became free. And but I'm
Yes.
looking at this as entrepreneurial Independence Day. Like, how do you get your financial freedom? How do you get to the next level? Vinny, as well as anybody, that most millionaires are not financially free. Most millionaires are asset rich, cash poor. They
Yes.
don't have passive income. They don't have assets that are really bringing them a lot of money. They may have a bunch of money in the stock market. They may have a bunch of money in their house. They may have a bunch of money in a real estate or a business,
Yes.
but they could be making absolutely no cash flow or very little cash flow. Independence Day to me is, how do I go back and look at my portfolio and free up my time, free up my money, free up, get rid of the assets that they're just taking my time, and go and take that money and roll it into assets that take no time and actually give me time, give me money back. So Independence Day to me means something different than I think a lot of people, but I think you and I can celebrate it together as, hey, Financial Freedom Day and Independence Day.
What you're saying, it's our abundance mindset show is about that. We want to make sure we are independent of our own thoughts, and our own relationships are boundless, I should say. The money is velocity of money. I really talk about that a lot. You got to not just keep money in a stagnant position where it's just decreasing in value with the inflation and everything measures. You got to invest, and good debt is good debt. Bad debt is bad debt. What's good debt? Good debt is where you are making money with the leverage, where the cash flow is coming, your equity is increasing. Those are the only two things: cash flow and equity gain. Your business is growing. You are able to, like the RALs, right? I already closing on the second one right now. And in just 1.5 months, it's just mind blowing to me. We just looked at another 30 units. These people want to sell, and it's empty. And I'm looking into it and doing some numbers, and what will it take for me to take it down with the leverage. And then also, you got to have the operational money. That's the other part in RALs. But freedom, just like you said, Independence Day, freedom of mind, freedom of what can be expecting ourselves. There should be no limitation. We should live life with no fear, no fear. The key thing is we put limitations ourselves, the blockage, the shackles, the chains. We are liable for our own shackles. I say that. Today is the day we should come out of those shackles and break those locks, and say that not only USA is free, but I'm free today.
I'm
I'm
free
free.
today.
I'm free today.
I love this because Vinny, it's so relevant to what we've been working on the last 2 years together and moving people towards financial freedom. And today is really it's
Yes.
Independence Day. I love that you mentioned Sadhguru. I follow him also. Almost every video he puts out, I'm just like, I'll watch it like two or
I
three
love it.
times because it's so
Yes.
good, so true. Release. So some practical
Yes.
steps before we dive into like more practical things. Let me ask you a question about
Sure.
investors looking at their portfolios right now and saying, man, okay, these guys are talking about financial freedom, financial independence, talking about leverage, we're
Mhm.
talking about debt. And one of the things that Ron and I, we made a mistake last year. We didn't have enough leverage. So we made a profit of $2 million. And that 2 million, I want to say there's 800,000 we couldn't apply it against. So there's a big capital
Wow.
gain that he and I are going to have to
Yeah.
pay. And
Mhm.
like we were looking and saying, man, how could we have fixed this? What could we have done differently? And what
Mhm.
we came up with was a levered loss. If we had bought a
Ah.
property and done a cost seg where we borrowed
Yes.
all the money to do that, or we brought
Yes.
in and
Yes.
brought in a ton of renovation and we borrowed the money to do that, then we could have
Totally.
levered
Cost
that loss.
segregation. Cost
Right.
segregation is the biggest thing to
Yep.
save taxes, because in that you get to write off everything, capex, as well as all the 5 year schedule of depreciation, and 15 years and 10 years in first year.
Yep.
So everything, the PNL could be making a lot of profit for us, but the depreciation can make it negative. And that's the beauty in real estate. And that's why I'm looking forward to doing cost segs on my RALs, because a lot of furniture goes in, everything. And the other thing is to reinvest the money back into your business. So that also is a very good technique. I'm learning more and more about it now, because we are buying these new properties just by ourselves, not syndicating them.
I love that you're at that phase where you're like, you know what? It's just I now have so much capital. I don't really want to bring anybody in on this one. It just doesn't make sense to bring in extra capital right now, which is it's a tough
Yeah.
place to be, Vinny. What are you gonna do? So some practical strategies. So for each of you who's listening, Wealth Principle 36 is be impeccable with your word, comes from the book, The Four Agreements. And if we can get into some practical tips, Vinny, for somebody who needs to maintain consistency or reliability in their commitment, somebody who like has said yes, but then doesn't follow through, what are some things that they can ask themselves before saying yes to prevent themselves from jumping into things that they end up just not being able to fulfill on? What ways are there to align their actions with their words or to reinforce trust and credibility with people that they're speaking with?
This is so great what you're saying, because sometimes we have spoken words. Remember, the good praising words, people love and they talk about it, they like you and everything, negative things, people don't like that much. But you got to put it in the right context. You got to just say, hey, I don't want to criticize you, but this I see from a outside, maybe this by doing this very positive things, it can help you in your business, in your communication and everything. You got to really be straightforward and say, I have something on my mind. It's been really hitting me hard. And actually, I couldn't sleep last night and I want to talk to you about it. See? So you set it up so that you are able to recoup yourself, recover yourself, and then you start building positivity. You're not hurting anybody with the lie. See? In the financial world, it becomes so typical that people just try to lie to get you into where they want your money, they want you to partner with you and everything. They don't open up. So I would say you got to do due diligence. Don't let it just get into any kind of partnership or investment unless you really, if you do something knowingly, the red flags, smaller red flags become big red flags. I say that. And the big green flags become smaller green flags as you go longer and longer into a partnership. Sure.
You got to make sure that things are lined up, that you know who you are, what you're doing before you even get into it. That is so fundamental that I think it's so easy to forget. And I think that just a good reminder today. So be impeccable with your words, how you're going to make more money. It's going to save you more time. It's going to free up your time. We do these wealth principles every week. Obviously, we go into deeper detail on Saturday, but I love getting a billionaire's perspective who's so positive on Thursdays. It really gives us like a really good tool. It gives me, by the way, Vinney, a lot of work, a lot of resources that I can work with on Saturday's call. So
love you, brother. Love you.
I got one more question. You have a $100,000 coaching program and you have a handful of people. You don't work with more than 3 people a year. Are you that tough with them? Do you have that conversation with people who've paid you $100,000? Do you sometimes have to say, I don't think you're being honest with yourself? Like, how does that go?
Oh my gosh, totally. I have to hold them accountable. They have paid me, even a dime they pay me. I want to over deliver. Of course, my inner circle coaching, $10,000. I give my heart out every week with my students and teach them new tricks of the trade and everything. 100,000, they have made a big investment in Vinney Chopra, and Vinney Chopra needs to deliver. Actually, Dave just mentioned to me, he says, Vinney, I'm talking to a very big hedge fund, I think, manager from Wall Street. He wants to join your 100,000. I just want to make sure that he's the right person to really, and I can help him. See, that's the other part. I cannot take anybody's 100,000 or 50,000 or anything unless I know for sure that I can help them. What happens is just Tony Robbins says, people pay him for 1 hour, 100,000 or 2 hours, 100,000. The leverage is so big of the investment that the success comes. See, it's mind boggling. When we look at something for free, we are not committed to show up and don't do assignments and don't listen and everything. Everybody, my personal coaching students have done very well because I hold their feet to the fire and I give them what they need every week. I'm more prepared than they are. And I want to make sure that they are the ones who are able to really enjoy working with me and picking my all the templates and everything. And I'll help them with all my networks and I'll even make phone calls with them.
I just want to make sure that you still hold them to the fire as well. But it sounds like you hold them more to the fire than the average person. Fantastic. Vinney, what is a tip that you can give? By the way, we do this call every single Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Just having fun.
He's out here doing his walk. He does his subscribers later. So, Vinney, what is a piece of advice you would give to somebody right now who's listening to this? It's 4th of July. They're going to spend the weekend with their family, hopefully having fun and connecting with people. How can they be more impeccable with the word just even like today? What is a quick exercise or just a quick note for you that you want to give out to Alchemist Nation and everybody who's listening right now?
I would say that definitely take a plain sheet of paper, one plain sheet of paper, draw a line in the middle, top to down. On the left side, you write down all the freedom that you have right now, time, money, travels, spirituality, relationships, everything that you are at right now on the left side, and where you want to be on the right side. Just do 5 different aspects of life, because we have 7, 8, 9, 10 roles that we play every day, but you got to write it down. You cannot do it mentally. You can't say, okay, I'll be free tomorrow. I'll be free on Monday morning. That won't happen. It won't happen. But you got to write it down, and then you look at that as a game plan and what you want to become on the right side. Look at one aspect that you really want to grow in, put it on the right, and then you look at it every day, morning, evening. You will become that person. You will get that freedom. You will get out of the shackles, and you will grow every aspect of your life. And that's what life is about. We are all going to be dying. Many of us believe we'll die. Many of us believe we won't die. And he was saying that if you keep on saying, I won't die, I won't die, I won't die, I won't die, you will die someday and you'll be gone.
One day you won't wake up and you'll be surprised.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. So live the life to the fullest. It's a freedom. It's 4th of July, freedom of the country. It's freedom from ourselves to get out of shackles. W2 job, we should break those shackles today and be a new person tomorrow.
Just a reminder for each of you who's listening, we're going to break the shackles in October 18th to the 20th,
Yes.
live in Orlando. We got the Business and Real Estate Summit. This is where everybody from all of our communities, mastermind, mentorship, everybody from all of our programs will be flying into Orlando. We'll be there 3 days. This is the 80-20 of the 80-20 of the 80-20. So the most valuable 1% of your entire year. 3 days together with us. Vinney Chopra will be there delivering some positivity, talking about the market, where it's going, and where he's investing his money. And we'll be talking about all weekend building your business plan, $1 million business plan with $1 million contract. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best.
See you next week.
Hey there! The upcoming episode is scheduled for Thursday. We appreciate your viewership of the Abundance Mindset Show. Tune in every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 12 p.m. Eastern on various social media platforms hosted by Vinney Chopra and Gualter Amarelo. Don't forget to subscribe, share your comments, and leave a 5-star review. Thank you for your support.